Hello students, in today's lecture we are going to discuss ABAP object orientation and what are the objects and classes in this programming language. Now what is object? Object is a special kind of variable that has different features and behavior. The characteristics or attributes of an object are used to describe the state of an object, okay? And behaviors or method represent the action performed by an object. Object is a instance of a class. It represents a real world entity such as a person or a programming entity like variable and constant. For example, accounts and student are the example of real world entity. So these can be considered as object. Accounts is an object and student is the object. And in accounts there will be account related information, and in student's object there will be the information related to the student. But hardware and software components of computer are examples of programming entities. An object has the following features. It has a particular state. It has a unique identity. It may or may not display the behavior. The state of an object can be described as a set of attributes and the value. For example, there is an object student. So student name, student class, these will be the attributes and the values of the object. For example, a bank account has a set of attributes like account number, name, account type, balance and value of all these attributes. Okay, so here bank account is a object. Behavior of an object refers to the changes that occurs in its attributes over a period of time. Okay, so the behavior of object can change. Each object has a unique identity that can be used to distinguish two objects. Two objects can have same behavior also, okay, but they may or may not have the same state, but they never have the same identity. That means identity of every object will be unique. Two persons may have the same name, age and gender, but they are not identical. Okay, similarly the identity of an object will never change throughout its lifetime. It will remain unique and same. Objects can interact with one another by sending messages. Object contains data and code to manipulate the data. An object can also be used as a user defined data type by using class. Objects are also called variables of the type class because objects are created inside the class. After defining a class, you can create number of objects in that class. Each object is associated with the data of the type class with which it has been created. It means the object will be having the same data type that its class is having. Now, this is a syntax to create an object in the ABAP programming. First, create a reference variable with reference to the class. The syntax for this is object name. Here object name will be given. That means you can write account here. Then type, then refer to. Refer to means under which class the object is there. Okay, so here in class name you have to write the class name. After that, to create an object from the reference variable, the syntax will be create object. You have to write the create object keyword there. Okay, then after that you have to write the object name. Classes. A class is used to specify the form of an object. Okay, and it combines data representation and methods for manipulating that data into one package. The data and functions within a class are called the members of the class. For example, student class is there, and under student class there can number of students, okay, and each student can have values of the marks in subjects. Okay, so there can be number of data and functions inside one class, and that data and function will be called as member of the class. When you define a class, you have to define a data type for that. This doesn't actually define any data, but it does define what the class name means, what an object of the class will consist of, and what operations can be performed on that object. That is, it defines the abstract features of an object like attribute, fields and properties. So this is the syntax for representing the class. You have to write the class keyword. After that, give the class name. In the class underscore name, that means the class name, then definition, then end class to end that particular class. Okay, a class definition starts with keyword class followed by the class name, definition and the class body. Now here this dot dot it is a class, it is a class body. The definition of class can contain various components of the class like attributes, methods and events. When we declare a method inside the class, the method implementation must be included in the class implementation. So when you include method implementation, then you have to write implementation keyword here. Okay, implementation of a class contains the implementation of all the methods. In ABAP object, the structure of class contain components like attributes, methods, events, types and constants.